This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. An Ashley Youth Detention Centre worker who pleaded not guilty to assaulting two youths at the facility last July has had the charges against him dismissed. The magistrate handing down the decision today, saying the actions of Sean David Bartlett were appropriate in the circumstances.
Sean Bartlett walked out of court a free man after hearing both common assault charges against him have been dismissed.
I'm be happy to look forward to putting this behind me and going back to work. It's been a bit of a hectic situation, but yeah, I'm glad the way it's turned out.
Just moments earlier, Magistrate Sharon Cure told the court Bartlett's actions against two youths in separate incidents last year to restrain them were appropriate. The court was shown CCTV of the first incident where Bartlett grabbed one youth off a table and pulled him across the room, and the second where he grabbed another youth around his upper body and restrained him whilst taking him to a room. The magistrate told the court if you were to only look at the CCTV of these incidents, it would appear a little heavy-handed, but in context, the force used by Bartlett to control the situation was appropriate. The 44-year-old from Mole Creek has been suspended from work for the past year. Now he can return. Are you excited to get back to work?
I am, yep. I'm sorting things out next week, hopefully.
Jessica Moran, Southern Cross News.
The Hobart City Council has confirmed a controversial skyscraper proposed for the city has grown even more. Southern Cross News can reveal the initial plan for a 120-metre hotel has now developed into a building with a total height of 210 metres, including its spire. It would be almost triple the size of Tasmania's current tallest building, Rest Point Casino.
When a hotel development was revealed to Tasmania last year, Fragrance Group said it would be more than 120 metres tall. But today, the Hobart City Council revealed a subsequent development application is significantly higher.
There are two applications, one in Davey Street, that is in fact 185 metres to the highest habitable floor level, and in fact extend to 210 metres to the top of the spire.
Singapore-based Fragrance Group couldn't be contacted today, but previously spruiked the project as a much-needed boost for visitor accommodation. But it and other proposals have sparked up immense opposition. Hadleys Hotel today playing host to a new phase in the debate about height.
Looking out there is what I'm trying to safeguard Hadleys from, and that Hadleys customers don't walk out and see something quite incongruous across the road right next to St David's Church, and that door is open to them now.
Don Neal, the owner of Hadleys and the Old Wool Store, launching an attack on high-rise projects and proposed amendments to Hobart's planning scheme.
There's an old expression, don't fight City Hall. I'm very much aware of that, and I don't propose to fight them. But I do want to point out that in this instance, they have acted unilaterally against the best interests of the community.
The Hobart City Council says any changes will go through an extensive consultation process.
We value, the important built fabric of the city, and we want to make sure that that's protected and not undermined in any way. So I can understand why people are concerned.
The council will hold public forums over the new height standards next month. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A ward at the Launceston General Hospital has been forced to close its doors after a number of cases of influenza A were confirmed. This afternoon, Ward 6D had 3 confirmed cases of the virus, with another 4 suspected. Strict infection controls are now in place. It's believed the virus has entered the hospital from the community. Anyone suffering from influenza-like symptoms is urged to avoid visiting patients at the LGH. Angst and frustration among aged care workers is reaching an all-time high, according to a workers' union, following another breakdown in talks over pay and conditions. The Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation says industrial action is looming after the latest workplace agreement from Southern Cross Care slashed back pay and offered only a 2.5% wage increase. But the company says federal funding cuts to the aged care sector are hurting, and its offer is still above the modern award.
Affordable, fair, reasonable and doesn't jeopardise jobs.
It's not fair. Southern Cross Care are in a very strong financial position, they say in their annual report, so we want to see some of those profits go back to the workers.
The ANMF originally asked for a 4% pay rise for workers. It's been a busy 24 hours for police search and rescue teams, with 2 difficult missions undertaken overnight. A woman seriously injured when she slipped and fell while caving, and a father and son becoming stranded in rough weather on Blackjack Rock after miscalculating the area.
This is the scene that confronted rescue operators in Mystery Creek Cave at about 4 o'clock yesterday. It took crews 11 hours to undertake the rescue of the woman, who was stuck about 100 metres underground.
2 paramedics and one of the police search and rescue personnel descended to that area. They then stabilised the patient, packaged her in a collapsible sked stretcher, and then each pitch, which obviously is a vertical area, she had to be winched then to the pitch or to the horizontal area above her.
2 rescue helicopters were called and a team of 20 worked to extract her. The Swiss tourist in her 30s was airlifted to the Royal Hobart Hospital with a broken femur bone.
Where we could get her to a quarry, where one of the helicopters came in and we winched her out. We got her to the hospital a little after 2 o'clock yesterday, or early this morning.
In a separate incident, a father and son had to be rescued from their new boat around 7 p.m. when it ran aground Blackjack Reef.
We're heading across Frederick Henry Bay and unfamiliar with the area, and he thought he'd had it lined up with the light at the Iron Pot, and unfortunately between where he was and that light was Blackjack Reef. So a difficult rescue because it's dark. There's no lighting down there.
Police using this close call to warn people to always exercise caution.
It's unforgiving, and one mistake can have tragic results.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Detectives have revealed more details about the circumstances of human bones found near the Terhune Airwalk on the weekend. They've released this photo, which was extracted from a memory card found near the remains. Police say it's believed to have been taken in New Zealand in 2010 and could be the deceased person. A backpack found at the site contained foreign currency and a receipt for a purchase in Switzerland in 2010. Investigators have ruled out foul play, but still don't know the identity of the remains. Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers. A 10-year-old boy and his sister were rushed to hospital this afternoon following a 4-car crash at Triabunna. Police say the mother of the children veered to miss a car that was stopped in the middle of the road to let birds past and hit an oncoming vehicle. The boy was flown to the Royal Hobart Hospital by Westpac helicopter with a head injury. The girl was taken by ambulance but did not sustain serious injuries. The other occupants were unharmed. The state government is tonight spruiking industry confidence in Tasmania's mining sector, boasting a $24 million rise in royalties compared to this time last year. The industry is still recovering from low global commodity prices.
Mining is one of Tasmania's biggest industries, producing roughly 50% of the value of the state's exports. And after a rough few years, the state government is confident things are looking up.
So royalties have more than doubled. We've received the figures for the last financial year, nearly $40 million, which is more than double the $15 million that the state government received in royalties the previous year.
The sale of the Avebury nickel mine last week, along with a mining lease granted for Stellar Resources, are just 2 success stories the government is eager to boast about. The reopening of the Henty gold mine also a sign of confidence for the industry.
We're very proud of the industry, and it's great to see that it's lifting and that there's renewed interest.
As we know, it's a cyclical industry and we do have our ups and downs, but I can definitely see that the wheel is starting to turn. We've had a very positive in terms of, forward orders at the moment. We're experiencing our best year since 2012.
The Minister for Resources also today releasing for public consultation a draft special species management plan looking at how best to protect our special timbers.
It's linked to our legislation. We will be seeking a mandate to open up our production forests, to unlock those production forests to create jobs.
Labor today welcoming the management plan but saying the sector needs a tread widely, tread lightly approach. Jessica Moran, Southern Cross News.
In another nod to the state's vibrant winter festival season, the Huon Valley Winterfest kicks off tonight. The event is expected to attract thousands over the weekend and give the regional community a huge financial boost.
All hands on deck with final preparations today for the 4th Huon Valley Midwinter Fest. 20,000 festival goers expected to make their way to the Willie Smith's Apple Shed this weekend.
We've really worked hard on more infrastructure so that more of the people that are coming to the event are engaged in the ceremonial side of it.
The winter celebration is said to pump $1 million into the local economy.
There's a good flow-on effect for this event, so all the service stations, the local shops, the accommodation, all those sort of things get a little bit of a kick, and quite frankly that's what this event's all about.
It just kind of gets people excited and thinking about Tassie as a place to visit all year round, not just at the height of the summer and when the weather's at its best.
This huge wooden structure, Big Willie, will be set on fire with bow and arrow tonight, lighting up the evening sky for the welcome ceremony.
Followed by great entertainment in the main stage and a bit of storytelling and great cider.
Cider not the only draw card. Foodies will delight at the delicacies on offer with 31 different stalls.
Cooking over the way that it used to be cooked, like heritage cooking, and I think a lot of different sort of cuisines are represented here. This is a bit of an inspiration to communities and regional areas across Tasmania about coming up with small-scaled events that really pack a punch.
Punters are advised to rug up. The event runs until Sunday and tickets are still available. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Australia's most lucrative art prize has just been awarded in Hobart. South Australian Indigenous artist Peter Munkuri took out the inaugural Hadleys Prize, worth $100,000. His piece is a depiction of his birthplace and connection to country.
The judges are looking for a response to the theme of the prize for this year, which was history and place, and they're also looking at technical skill and a creative flair.
41 finalists were selected out of 385 entries. Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has closed out another volatile week of trade on a positive note, with gains across the board led by a resurgent energy sector. The ASX 200 index has risen by 28.3 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 78 US cents and 87.77 Japanese yen.
TSL now, and after a 15-goal loss last week, Hobart City Demons are after a big turnaround against Devonport tomorrow. With Demon Kane Richter still sidelined, Devonport says it's in with a real shot at causing an upset.
Earlier in the season, few would have expected Devonport to come close to matching the hard-running Demons, but a spirited stab at North Launceston last week has the Pies eyeing off win number 2.
Yeah, it's interesting how the expectations have changed. At the start of the year, we were getting touched up. Now we're a bit more competitive.
Thorpe kicked 5 of his side's 10 goals last round, but the mood in the Hobart City Demons camp is less enthused after a shocker against Lauderdale.
60 points scored by the opposition directly from our turnovers isn't good enough.
It's a high-pressure game for the club. A loss would leave the team stranded in 6th with a poor percentage.
And it's important that we rebound real quick.
Hobart City are interesting. I mean, they've beaten Clarence this year, so we know their best is very good, and we'll be expecting them to bring that to the table.
The round's Sunday special is scheduled for West Park. North Launceston expected to dominate the struggling Dockers, although captain Taylor Whitford is still at least 2 weeks away from returning.
We've got to make sure that we bring the right effort this week from the first quarter, not the second, and hopefully get over the top of them down there.
To basketball now, and the Launceston Tornadoes leader Lauren Mansfield will step out for Seabull game number 100 this weekend. Adding to the occasion, it will be the point guard's last before representing the country at the Women's Asia Cup in India.
Over the past 5 seasons, Lauren Mansfield has become the Tornadoes' backbone, helping to lift the side from Struggle Street in 2013 into a force with its fingertips on this year's finals.
Just be walking down the street and, people will say, oh, hey, you're from the Tornadoes. So I just feel like the community support's been, something that's really stood out to me.
She's very softly spoken, she's quiet, but when she speaks, everyone listens. She's really respected by the playing group.
Born in Adelaide, Mansfield was spotted by the Tawns while playing for her hometown's WNBL side. She had never set foot in Tasmania before, but the 27-year-old quickly made her presence known, averaging 16 points per game in her debut season. But her number one highlight came in 2015.
The first thing that comes to my mind is the 10-game winning streak. That was, huge for the Tornadoes, I think.
The timing of game number 100 couldn't be more dramatic, hosting the Hobart Chargers with a finals berth on the line, a shot at revenge following defeat in round 1, and going toe-to-toe with ex-teammate Michaela Roof.
I have played against her before, and I know she'll be ready to go.
Tip-off for the Tawns and Chargers is 6:30 tomorrow night at Elfin Stadium. Meanwhile, in the men's, the Chargers play the Northwest Thunder in Ulverston from 7:30 tomorrow night.
Hobart is playing host to the World Age Group Underwater Hockey Championships. A total of 34 teams and 500 athletes and officials will be in Tasmania for the event over the next 2 weeks. Underwater hockey was developed by Navy divers in the United Kingdom to keep fit, active and sharp.
Good evening. Hobart 12 degrees today, Launceston 10, Burnie and Devonport both reaching 11. Thank goodness we're at Friday. The weather hasn't been great, but we do need the rain, don't we? The top was 13 degrees today at Strawn, Friendly Beaches, St Helens and King Island. Melton Mowbray certainly wasn't, with -4 overnight. The rain band did drop a few showers today prior to 9 a.m. Mount Victoria had 51 mils, while today Mount Reid and Blessington recorded 11 millimetres. Flinders Island and Smithton 12 degrees, Low Head, Wynyard and Grove 11, Bushy Park 9, Weenie 4. Now the frontal band did move across, also affecting Victoria. A cold air mass is following in behind that system with patchy low cloud over the east coast of Queensland due to an onshore flow. The rest of the country mostly clear apart from the southwest of WA. Closer in, a massive cloud covered the state today as the first descent of rain arrived for a while. Tomorrow, a cold front will be to the east of Tasmania over the Tasman Sea, with the next well back to the west. A high pressure zone lies over central Australia, a trough over New South Wales and Queensland. West to southwest winds at 15 to 25 knots, maybe reaching 30 knots over the northeast and southeast. Swells at 4 metres in western and southern waters. A strong wind warning coming up too. We can tell you about that. That's from Stanley to St Helens Point and also from Wineglass Bay to South East Cape. Saturday for Hobart, a morning shower, 11 the top, just 7 for Maydena, -1 for Oatlands, a sunny 8 degrees later though. Launceston, morning frost, a sunny 11 degrees, 11 for Devonport, Weenie, a snow shower and a top of 3. Burnie, possible shower and 11 for Strawn with showers easing and 12 for Marrawar, and for St Helens tomorrow, sunny and 12 also for Swansea, a morning shower clearing from Orford and 11. On Sunday, rain developing over the north and west, but mainly fine elsewhere. Rain again over the north and west, extending throughout before clearing from the southeast on Monday, and on Tuesday, rain chiefly over the north and west again, tending to showers in the afternoon. Showers increasing over Perth tomorrow, with a shower as well for Brisbane and Cairns. Partly cloudy weather for all the other centres apart from Alice Springs and Darwin, where the sun will be shining. Partly cloudy in Hobart, it's 8 right now, 6 degrees in Launceston and 9 in Devonport, with a few showers over the north and northwest and a few showers for the next 2 or 3 days, Jo.
That's all from the news team for now. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Bye-bye.